and continuing in this little series on using delicate interlinear flourishing to fill a space, I'm looking at this particular piece. So here we see I've made some copies, which I've shown you before. This is a much tighter interlinear space. And I'm using something that's slightly bigger so that I can fill the space a little bit better. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the overall area, and I will continue moving my arm through the space, get a sense of what I'm trying to achieve here. I don't want something that completely encompasses it. I just want something that fills it quite nicely. Works really. So let's get started. I'm using my own ink. This is a new ink, which is out soon. I'm using this really gentle, delicate tendril flourishes. So they're really simple. They're very light. So the idea here is to not need tons of complex flourishes, really big complex flourishes to fill text. This is that 4-2-1 rule that I've just used there. I'm going to augment this space now. See, I'm really not pressing. Really tiny little droplets of decoration that I'm using. Not pressing hard at all. I can feel that it needs a little bit of weight on this side. I'm going to pull it out of here by adding now. That's starting to need space over here, which I didn't want to do, but because of what I've done here, I kind of have to make up for it. let's light. Really, really delicate. Add hatching lines in there. And, I hope you're also watching me move. So, watch the video again and look at how I'm moving in. I'm not sort of tight and cramped. I'm really sort of moving with the thing. I'm trying to sort of part of the movement of it so it doesn't feel constrained. Let's move down to the second line. I found that by following through the movement, helps me to find where the next shape could be. And what I'm not doing is I'm not pressing as hard, so you can see the letters much heavier than the lines that I'm writing. I want this to be inside there. I'm kind of using a ligature. Now I could cheat and dot this in so it looks like my pen staff skipped. And we'll wait just there. And something bigger here to match that above it. And was double flush here and there. Slowly I'm starting to pull it together. Round. I'm really not pressing very hard on this. Line here. There. And that there side. Let's down to the next. We have A, and A. Three sets of A's separated by other types, other letters. Because these three A's are separated by other letters, we same sort of overarching shape. Smaller as its ending line. This will come down and up and down. Little drop there. This has gone up, down, up. And let's bring this. Let's bring this down. Oh, really sharpen. If I actually sharpened it, it's causing. Here. Fill this line in well. One. And let's finish off middle line here. Have this with that, longer. Finish off the end of it with one. So that really sort of wraps it up. And one of the great things about this is seeing how different kinds of flourishes can work together to fill the space. And I've not made any massive flourishes. These are big, but they're very, very, very light. Now, kind of feel that this is missing something here, but pick this up and round like so. Double it up so we on the inside and inside side here. Now, I would probably hazard tiny lines that I'm going to add. But hazard that. See how I actually started here, but I skipped. I didn't actually touch the page. But I kept path, so it feels there now. There's a cutter there. Up on, you can see how fine the hairlines are. So let's run through this from across the line. I kind of feel because that's there, it needs counterbalance here. And I feel that it something down at the bottom. Always do these uneven numbers, and that gives you a really nice counterbalance for differencing that really pulls your eye into them. So, so when you're thinking of using decorative lines for flourishing, you don't have to be big, heavy flourishes that compete with the text. You can be a little bit more conscious. The interlinear space, maybe not as wide as one of the earlier bits that I showed you, but be conscious of it. Now, for those of you doing wedding work, this is great on envelopes. They're just tiny little things that add magic to the envelope. Those of you designing stationery, this is great for wedding stationery. It's also great for poetry because your aim is to not use weight that is as heavy as the letters. And in the upcoming workshop, what I've done is I've listed a series of nibs that heavy, medium, and light lines, and how to use the heavier nibs, the nibs which produce heavier shades, even though they're producing really fine hairlines, they're also very delicate lines which have the same sort of relationship with it. So even though you have really much heavier writing, the writing's dominant, and flourishes little bits of magic, pepper the text, add a little bit of interest.